When did you first begin to maybe change some of your thoughts and ideas that you were raised with regarding race and civil rights?
Well, I think we began to change as we, in our school systems, were finally seeing integration. And again, that came in the mid to late 60s, long after Brown versus the Board of Education. But the signal moment for me, the epiphany, came when I went in late 1968, early 1969, to a conference for Presbyterian youth in Atlanta. And that was the year, of course, that both Dr. King and Robert Kennedy had been killed. And we went to this conference, several of us from my hometown, and it wasn't anything like we thought it ought to be, so we decided one Sunday while we were there to go over to Ebenezer Baptist Church, where Dr. King had been the pastor. And it was an interesting difference from the staid and solemn and some would say rather uneventful Presbyterian services that we had known. And yet it was a place where, even though we were of completely different hue from the congregation, we were well received and welcomed. And afterwards, Ralph Abernathy had been the preacher then, was so gracious and invited us to spend some time chatting with him. And we did. And I realized in that conversation for that afternoon that the folks that my friends had characterized as agitators were indeed agitators, but they were agitators for what in the bedrock of the faith that I had learned as a Presbyterian was an equality of human beings before God, and therefore the need for an equality of human beings in our nation. That people, no matter what their race, had the same dreams, the same aspirations, and were called by the same God to the same equality. That for me was a life-changing moment.